Let's talk about not having children at the age of 40 plus. I am 41, married, and have no kids, and I wanted to present a perspective that is a little different to what you would ordinarily hear circulating on the internet. In fact, I haven't really heard anyone talk about these issues in the way that I think about them. It is either going to be a series of unpopular opinions or you will really relate to what I'm saying. I want to focus on how I feel either during day-to-day interactions with people whereby the subject may come up, or how it affects my relationships with friends and family. Okay, so let's get into it. Number one for me is you can feel invisible. Invisible because the conversations with your friends will eventually sway towards the children, naturally, and no matter how much you try to relate, advise, understand, you will never understand. You will never understand. Invisible because you are always the one that compromises and adapts their plans, because you're competing with school holidays, co-parenting schedules. I mean, how can you possibly compete with that? You cannot. Invisible because your friends don't have capacity for you. You have the time, they don't. You want to talk, they have shit to deal with their children. They cannot prioritize you ever, and rightly so. Invisible because the in-laws will decide to go to the other side for Christmas to spend time with their grandchildren. And can you blame them? Invisible because the way you're building your life or the things you're focusing on are often treated as unimportant or trivial or materialistic. Then you constantly justify yourself. You justify your life and the choices you've made, including justifying not having kids. When you randomly get a question of why don't you have kids? Do you want to have kids? You grapple with how the hell to answer this question. The real reason is it is a cocktail of factors including psychological, physical, economical, environmental. If you say no, you have to justify it. If you say yes, you have to justify why don't you have children yet. And what if you genuinely don't know? What if you haven't processed all the shit you went through in the past? Which means the desire to have a kid hasn't even awakened yet. And quite frankly, it is late. And I honestly don't think the people that randomly ask these questions, and again, they may have all the best intentions when they do, I don't think they would really want to hear the real answer. Because if you do, you better sit down, because it's gonna get dark. But there are also other things that you feel you have to justify. You have to justify the fact that you are actually busy, because you are. You have 2 jobs, you run a side hustle, you have legal and financial problems that may be life-changing for you, but nothing gets noticed and nothing can be matched. And in reality, it probably can't, because the same issues can also be faced by those with children. You've lost. Similarly, you have to justify the free time. And you are a little bit judged if, for example, currently your number one priority is to plan a cruise, because why the hell not? In fact, if I was to summarize all of this, you are the one that needs to compromise, because you have literally no excuses to not to. Then you always wonder. No matter how happy I am, no matter how fulfilled I am in life, how free I feel, I will always wonder what it's like to have a child. And there are a lot of women out there online who, defend their choices, and rightly so, but it's hard for me to believe that they don't wonder. At the same time, it is hard to admit it because of the entire discord online. You feel like you have to be a bit defensive. But yeah, to summarize, I do wonder. And finally, you can be a little bit looked down upon, and it can be ever so subtle. Ever so subtle. I think it probably stems from the overall perception of somebody like me that their life is a little superficial. And there's nothing anyone can do to really change that perception. Is it true? I don't know. But I do know that having children opens up an emotional, spiritual, human dimension to which the door for me is shut. I can hear the noise behind the door, but I can never enter. I hope I was able to convey what's been kind of mounting for years and years for me. I am not blaming anyone. I am not a victim. I have no agenda or motive. This comparison between the two sides, people with children versus people without children, whether direct or indirect, does exist, and I have experienced it. I hope some of you can relate to that, and if you can, please share your experiences in the comments below. And if you like the content, please like and subscribe, as it gives me encouragement to keep going.